Hi, I'm Natasha Tracy, and I'm the author of Breaking Bipolar here at HealthyPlace.com. I want to talk for a minute about coming out with bipolar disorder. So, when I originally started writing about bipolar disorder, I did so anonymously. And this was really important to me because I needed my thoughts about depression, hypomania, my thoughts that just didn't make sense. I needed those to remain private. I needed to feel confident that people in my real life wouldn't stumble across these thoughts of mine. They were very personal to me. But at some point, and it took years for me, I decided that it was important to come out with bipolar disorder. And I only did this once I managed to gain some confidence about my story and who I was and my ability to tell that particular story. It's only then that I really decided it was appropriate to become public. Now, in my real life, this wasn't a big deal for me because the people in my real life knew that I had bipolar disorder. Nevertheless, it is still an event to come out with bipolar disorder online because suddenly hundreds or thousands or even millions of people suddenly know that you have bipolar disorder, and that means that they can judge you for it. That means the stigma that every one of us suffer with a mental illness can be amplified because of all of the people who now know that you have bipolar disorder. Now, there are real positives and negatives to coming out with bipolar disorder. There are some great positives where you can really positively affect other people's lives. You can affect someone else's life as to how they feel about themselves. You can affect as to whether they get treatment. You can affect as to how they feel about their disease. You can help eradicate the stigma that people with a mental illness face. Those are huge and powerful gifts and should not be understated. However, there are also major negatives to coming out with a mental illness. There are all kinds of negatives associated with work life. There are all kinds of negatives associated with your personal life, depending on who you've told and who you haven't told. And then there are all kinds of negatives associated with your online life. And one of the things to remember is that some people online will disagree with you. For example, I'm attacked because I have bipolar disorder, because I talk about bipolar disorder, because of my thoughts on treatment, because of my thoughts on psychiatry. Certainly, some people attack me both professionally and personally for what I think about these things. And I would suggest to anyone who's considering coming out with bipolar disorder online that these negative things are likely to happen to them as well. It's simply a matter of time before people who will vehemently disagree with you find you and start attacking you. So it's really important to prepare yourself for that inevitability. And the thing about that type of negative attack is that it can push you, and it can push you in a really bad direction. It can negatively harm your health, and that's something that no one wants. And the important thing to remember is that it's your health that matters. If you're sick, you can't help anyone else. It's really great to inspire people. It's really great to hold their hand. It's really great to support people. But if all it does is harm your own mental illness, then it really isn't worth it. So it's really important to carefully consider both the positives and the negatives before coming out with bipolar disorder. I'm Natasha Tracy for HealthyPlace.com.